Check, baby, check, baby, check. 1, 2. This is a microphone check, ladies and gentlemen. Give us some feedback here. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Striking, otherwise known as Tom in the real world here. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show on November 5th. November 5th. We're already only a few days from Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, if you can believe that. Believe that. It's under 2 months away now, and getting a little crazy right now. That means you've only got about 50 days here to fatten up your bags to be able to pay those Christmas bills, pay those credit cards off in January. So you better get with it. You better ride this wave up. We've been talking about Bitcoin dumping like crazy, showing a little resurgence. Pedro and I were just talking about the markets. S&P is moving up a little bit. Normally, this is where I would introduce my co-host, Mr. Pedro Garcia, but I don't see him for some reason. I don't. Pedro, you there? Oh, yeah, there. I see you there, but why are you not on the screen? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, Pedro Garcia, is in the house here. I'll get his camera up in just a minute. As soon as I can figure out why he's not there, let's click this button here. Pedro screen feed. That works. Pedro cam feed. That's Pedro. That's for sure, Pedro. recently shaved. Is that like the morning shadow there, Pedro, or is
that is
I don't know why you're not on the oh wait, I do know why you're not on the screen here. Nope. Okay, I have no idea why. We'll just click this button then, and no, I guess we won't. System running slow. Anyway, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin moving back up above $100,000. We thought it was going to be under that for a little while there. And I was talking about it going down to 95K. Doesn't look like it's going to do that today. Pedro might have some different opinions on that. Pedro, what in the world is going on with the Bitcoiner? Yeah, welcome, Bitcoiner. 76 Norton, to the show. Thanks for joining us, 76.
What's up? The Bitcoiner is being very interesting, especially the Cardano.
Why is it showing my screen instead of Pedro's screen? Lord.
We are having fun. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, just my system is running super slow here.
It's okay. Glad, because I'm eating real quick. Go.
There we go. Nope. It's back.
Guess who's back?
My screen on, my screen off.
Okay. Guess who's back?
Let's restart that software. Stream Deck, you are not cooperating. We're just going to restart you there. Anyway, Pedro, like I was saying off the air before, ladies and gentlemen, we're late today. Sorry about that. Helping a friend try to recover some money that he tried to withdraw from Binance a while ago using their peer-to-peer system. And he didn't understand it, how it worked right. And it wasn't scammed. It's a legit thing. Just that in the string of people that needed to have the transaction IDs and all this type of stuff, a bunch of things had to go right, and a couple of them didn't go right. And like anything else in life, something that has one problem, it's pretty fixable. You see what the problem is, take it taken care of. But when you have problems stacked on top of each other, it's not like, oh, you have two problems, so there's twice as many. You have two problems, it's an order of magnitude, so there's 20 times as hard. So spent some time trying to do that. One of my friends that I had lived with when I was living over in the United Arab Emirates, good guy, fellow coastie like Mr. Pedro here. Oh, there, I finally got the screen working right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin 103 and change right now. The spot price is 103.8, going up again. Going up again. It's the first day we've seen that green candle over there in quite some time. Let's bring up while Pedro's finishing his sandwich there. You can see Bitcoin up 2.5, ETH up 1.3%, XRP, even XRP's in the green, which is weird. Up 1.7%, BNB up 3.69%. I'm long at that at 950. Solana is up at 3.5%. Tron's up. Even Cardano's up 3.3%. So all is going well here this morning in the market. Even Hyperliquid gaining well today, up 8.7%. The big mover of the top cryptos, Hyperliquid, is doing a lot more damage on the upside. And they're even getting the pulsing arrow over there. If you can see that arrow, and Hyperliquid is growing and shrinking. And yes, I programmed that. I'm so happy with myself. Anyway, if you're out there watching and listening, Pedro, I don't have the clock going because I was totally off the clock here. We're just going to wing this one today. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We're broadcasting out on Rumble, YouTube, X, Twitch, and Facebook. And if you're watching on any of those platforms, drop the platform you're watching from, or just drop a comment. It'll come in here to the great comment machine displayed on screen. Ask Pedro and I a question about crypto, about how to fix your car, about life in the Coast Guard. We'll be able to answer them. Hopefully.
When you get into the Coast Guard, get qualified ASAP at every unit as quick as possible. It'll make life a lot easier.
Get qualified. I'm guessing that means every course they offer you and training thing they offer you, you take.
No. Qualified means when you go to a new unit,
yep,
you have to learn that unit up and down, like fire procedures, where the cutoff valves for water, crew, or for the CCP system, the shitter system, it's literally what it's. I think it's called the sanitation.
No, they just call it the shitter system.
Yeah. I realize it. What else? Yeah, you just got to learn all that stuff, and it takes about 2 months. A month and a half, 2 months they give you. If you can get it done in 3 weeks, that makes you just look better. Get qualified so you can stay on duty and get off your 1 and 3s and 1 and 2s, depending on what your rotation is for qualifications.
Alrighty.
Okay. Let's check out BTC here real quick. We actually had one trade that did. I need to start talking about these more, but we actually had a liquidity pool right here. We hit the area right here, big engulfing candle. We closed. And it's really interesting to sit here because we closed right here.
When was that, Pedro?
This was this morning. It was just a quick short. It was just a liquidity area. Quick that would hit, and plus there was a zone on top of that liquidity area. So it was one of those things that I was looking to trade, and I need to start bringing this stuff up more so that people can just take a quick trade with leverage or whatever you want to do it with, but you can take a quick profit here. And it hit this area, sold off, closed here. Our stop would have been around here. It looks like a 1-to-1 ratio that we would have hit already. So you would have walked away with 70%. And then once we broke that 8, close above that 8 period moving average, we would have been saying, all right, we're out. So it would have been a nice little trade, actually. And it was a pretty good, came up, hit it. It was at the open. So you can see that it hit it right before the open, sold off, and then the open took it up. So it was all that liquidity that they took. down to push back up. So BTC over the day, let's check it out. Ultimately, we came down into that 400 period moving average. It was the 100, the 99, 98 cent area. We talked about the 99 area yesterday, expecting it to pull back down there and then find support. Now, again, the key point is this: is on the daily chart, I want to see it get above that 8. Now, this is a good area to be buying, just in all honesty, right? Like that 103, 100,000 area, I think is a good place to buy BTC. It may go lower, but I just think that's a good psychological area in case if they do decide to find support. That's really where we're going to find the support at that 100,000. But if they do take it lower, then we've already discussed where it would go from there, right? If it falls below here, most likely we'll see it continue down. Now, as you guys hear my stomach completely releasing that gas into the mic.
No, we didn't hear anything.
Good, great.
It's just you telling us.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so the other thing we want to be paying attention to is this. Okay, you can see here how we had to pick up a volume, and that's what this was, right? And you can see how volume started dying down, right, as we were going up here on your daily chart. Now, what's really important is this: is that if we're going to see this continue up, we need to have higher volume. We need to see higher volume coming in higher. Looks like that, right? So we need to see at least 50% of the previous candle volume come in on today's candle. But it's at a support area of that 400-day period moving average that is very good. Like, it's really good. That's another thing. We just passed through the 8 period, passed through the 200 moving average, which is definitely a bearish sign in the market, as well as we are seeing now the 89 now below the 100, as well as the 100, which is the yellow line right here. I'm not saying that we are going to keep going down, but these are the things that I'm looking at when I see the 8 cross below the 200, and to see the 8, or excuse me, not the 89, but to see the 50 get below the 100 period moving average. When we start to see that, then we start to see it continue down, and we're starting to see it really pick up. So I was thinking we're going to see a flash crash come in and push up. If we continue down, we're coming down here to the lower parts here, because from a standpoint, when you have when you have a cross between the 108 or the 150, now here's the part that we need to be paying attention to. If we see that 50 period get below the 200 period, that is definitely a sign that we're going to see this going further lower. I'm looking at Bitcoin, this area right here, as it's coming down. You see that acceleration as it's turning down. You'll see this movement. You'll see the 200 typically look something like this. It's really important as that 200 starts to come, right? We want to still see it like this, and then see the 50 kind of start to do that. Don't want to see it continue down into a steeper movement. And so this will take probably a week or two to really be paying attention on the daily here. But that's why we're looking at this here for higher time movement. This is higher time frame analysis of being able to see what's actually happening here. I'm looking at I'm looking at today and tomorrow to see if we're going to see volume step in. If we do not see volume step in and it looks like this, well, then we know what's coming. It's going to continue down. We don't want to see that. And so we're at kind of a critical area at that 100,000. We need it to hold this area and or that 87 area. Like this is critical area. If we do not, I expect a bigger sell-off. That's going to be huge.
Well, it's funny when you look, earlier I had the hourly chart up, and it just looks good. Coming back up through moving averages. The 15-minute chart looks even better. It's like, whoo, this is really good. When you pull up the daily chart,
yeah,
it still gives you the heebie-jeebies. I mean, I do see the two wicks down there bouncing off that, what is that, the 400 period moving average?
Yep.
So that's a good thing. You don't want it going below the 400 period moving average, that's for sure. But still, it's down there, and there's lots of red, and we know, you know from looking at the charts, I know from looking at Bookmap, there's more liquidity down there. And that was the kind of the text of the title I put up. I said, where's the liquidity going to pull us? Is it going to pull us up into a recovery mode here? Or are we going to start trading downward into this? And all of a sudden, Pedro, I'm unsure because, like I said, I'm learning this. But generally, I like to see what the great internet is calling and just know that whatever the Twitterverse agrees on what's going to happen, it's going to do the opposite.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's pretty much a general rule. So I was like, all of a sudden, all the accounts that were just moon, and are saying, well, there's a chance it could go into the 70s. And like if it doesn't hold in the mid 90s, the liquidity levels are down there in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I looked at the chart too, and I agree with that. But you and I have been talking so long about at least coming further down into the 90s. We just clipped the top of the 98 region there the other day. In this, I don't know if it was in the spot or the futures markets, but I still think it has some downside to it. Don't like it. Don't want it to go under the 400 period moving average. Then we're in for misery and pain. But if the great Twitter universe is now calling it for 70,000, then I'm like, better buy now. But I do have to say though, there's still a lot of the big Twitter universe, the Twitter accounts and stuff like that, and more famous analysts that have big followings, still think that by the end of the year we could see a turnaround and have this thing pop to 140 or something like that. And to me, I think that's a stretch as people start wanting to spend their Christmas money. In the past 2 years, we've seen big pumps in the fall, but they started earlier. They started at the end of September or in the middle of September and continued through October. This year, flat. There's no pump in altcoins. There's no Bitcoin pump. There's no new liquidity coming into the market. So a different market this year. And so everyone that says, well, it's done this the past 3 years, the trends are already showing that it's not doing the same thing as the past 3 years. It's like no, different market, different times, different economy, different trading styles. So much more money in Bitcoin now than even 1 year ago. And by I mean Bitcoin, I don't just mean market cap. I mean the whole Bitcoin ecosphere. I mean the value of the mining companies has gone through the roof. There's all these treasury companies now. Market's totally different than a year ago. Not just from looking at the price, but from looking at everything that affects it.
I think the stablecoin effect, the fact is that they've literally doubled the amount of it's literally doubled the amount of stable coins, which has kind of been crazy for me. The fact that there's a lot of dollar. There we are, but sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's cut off my head. Let me see if I just.
Because no 2 days do you ever have the camera in the same place. That's why.
Oh, there we are. Okay. So here's the thing. Like when I look at the market and I see what's actually happening, not market as in like to trade it, but to actually see what's happening where there's so much money sitting in stable coins. It's literally doubled. You look at Tether, you look at USDC, there's so much money being placed into that and people are just sitting in cash. So part of me almost wonders where are they going to deploy that? Now, granted, they're receiving 7, 8%, 10% yield on their money based on how much money you have. USDF, I think, is giving people 5%, 10%, you know, USDA, the one that's the kind of thing that's backed by the government, right? Or kind of quasi backed by the government, that has a huge yield on it comparative to, let's say, sitting in the bank. So now that that's all open, like if I'm sitting there and I go, you're right, bud? Ooh.
It's hot, hot, hot. We got a
See
new
that?
tea. It's hot.
What's interesting is that people will go through and they will actually, when they take their money out of a bank, right, and they put it into USDT, think how much money and treasuries that are being bought and being
Yeah, it's a
sold.
lot. It's a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing the Treasury, the market behind the scenes, the secondary Treasury market is happening. You know, a hot spot too. Suddenly, the Treasury trading desks and places are busy, and they're people used to be like the Fed's selling, Fed's buying, Fed's buying. Now they're like Tether's buying, Tether's buying, Tether's buying, Tether's selling, Tether's selling, Tether's buying. Or they just watch the Tether blockchain, say,
Yeah.
oh look, there's a mint feature in Tether. That means they got cash, they need securities, and people are calling them, hey, give you 5 points, give you 525.
Yeah, that's exactly. And that in itself, it's a whole entire new way, because like you used to have to call, like you said, and everybody knew what was happening. Now people are sitting there and it's like you got to wait, like you're on pins and needles. And so that money, when it starts to flow into a type of altcoin or Bitcoin, everybody's going to know. And so I think this idea of being able to the shadow accounts now that Aster is actually building, right, and setting up, those things are going to be dynamite. Like I think money will go into the leverage side of things first, because you can hide your positions. Whereas as soon as you buy it, people will see your leverage position, or not your leverage position, but your actual spot coin on it. And so you kind of get screwed over, you know? And so it's like I'm sitting there going like, how are they going to play all that money that is accumulating in stable coins? And it may just stay in it for just the yield. It's like being in cash, and then they bring it back into traditional finance. But we're talking like few $100 billion that we've seen increase comparative. So I'm blown away. I'm actually being blown away by the amount of money that is just sitting waiting for I think a sell off, kind of like what we're watching right now. And so I think they'll let it free fall. I do. I think they'll let it free fall as much as they can until they can get down as low as they can. Now, I wanted to add on something else as well. So right now, when you look at the CME BTC, we're actually hitting the 200 period moving average, which is sitting right here. But on the spot coin, we're hitting the 400 period moving average at the lows here.
That other chart you had up was the spot, the one that was at the 400 period.
Yeah. This is the CME, which is again a leveraged.
Right.
I think. How much is it? I'm trying to think. 100.
It won't make any sense
25.
to any of us.
All right. So when spot coin goes up $1, okay, money wise, you make $1. Whereas this, when it goes up $1, you make $25.
Right.
So it's a 25x, if not can be higher. And this is, this is the micro. I believe the full contract, I think it's 100 or something like that. It's crazy. Like it's nuts. The amount of money that flows through that is just crazy. But no. I'm sorry. This is not the macro. This is not the micro. This is the mini. This is not even the mini. This is the full contract here. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Because you have your full contract, you have the or the mini, and then you have the micro, and they all have different price points. Micro is $1.25 for every movement it makes. Anyways, okay, let's go ahead and talk about these movements here, though. As the market is moving, one of the things I'm waiting for is if I see a drop harder and I'm looking at the CME, right? That CME area, we've got to see volume come in today. If I don't, then, and I see the next day, I'm expecting a big sell off if I don't see this come in, because we just closed below the 200 period moving average here. So it's an indication that if we close there and then we're sitting around that 400, well, if we go below the if we're closing below the 200, that means most likely it's going to continue down even further. Yeah, and so how far will it go? The next level is literally sitting at 91 area on here. Point that out here. Gap area here back in April, and then the next one is down at that 400, sitting at that 87. And so that 87 level here on the CME is one of those ones that I'm looking at to see if it holds here. It's red. Call it the CME 400. CME.
Let's see. I made a video and posted it in the room with my. No, I can't find it. Where? Come on. There we go. There it is.
What's going on, buddy?
1 second here. This system's just running slow here. Play forever. Rewind. Force.
Oh, I'm getting an echo back. Might be me.
Echo
there we are.
back.
Oh,
you probably got the
Yep.
the stream.
Yeah, I got this stream flowing in my ears. I didn't realize it. So this is what I'm expecting though. I'm expecting it to, if it closes below that 200 on the CME, I would expect it to come in now, test the lows here. You'll have some ups and downs. Liquidity areas, like right here, you have a liquidity area. Sits. See on the CME, this is where it stopped. Go ahead and play that out. Is that doing that?
When does that stop? It should keep playing. Pedro, I've got on the screen, I've got the 95,000 incoming soon graphic playing.
Oh wow. What's the crowd saying?
Oh, you know what? I haven't looked at comments in a while. Let me make sure my system's getting them all. Crypto Mike says, sup. Welcome, Crypto Mike, coming to us all the way from the great communist state of Manitoba. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I get confused with Kaching in Minnesota. Minnesota, Manitoba. Whatever. Speaking of communists, they elected him.
They did.
They elected New York elected. And I was watching another Democratic operative talk on one of the news shows, Pedro, and the news guy just came out and asked, of all the Democrats in the East Coast of the United States, and especially in New York, this was your best guy, the communist here, and he just came right out and said, actually it was our worst guy, and he was polling at less than 1%. And a lot of people were polling much higher than him. And then Andrew Cuomo decided that he was so important that he wanted to run for mayor, even though he had been shoved out.
The votes.
Well, what he did is he caused a couple of the top contenders to drop out. when he came in to run on the Democratic ticket, say, I'm going to get the nomination. They run independently for mayor, but they're affiliated with parties, but they're still, it's not, I mean, anyone can run under any, even though they're both Democrats, they both can run. But it forced out two of the top Democrats, this lady and this other guy. And suddenly it was just Cuomo, and the Republicans hadn't consolidated around Silva yet. And Mandami was there, and he's out there before people realize he was a communist. He's out there as the young guy saying, we should have all these things for free. And suddenly, like, yeah. But there was and he said if we hadn't had Cuomo come in, we'd have someone else, one of the other two people, I don't remember the names, would be the mayor right now, and there would be no controversy. We'd be just moving on like normal. He said, basically what he wanted to say is that asshole. He said, because that asshole, that narcissist asshole, thinks he's so important that he has to come back after assaulting a bunch of women and getting run out of office, many of the people just wouldn't vote for him. They're just like, I don't care. It's just like the people that won't vote for Trump. Anyone but him. Anyone but Cuomo. And so they said, this communist guy, there's still a city council, like they can't really screw things up that much. Oh, yes, he can. Other mayors have screwed up New York. just as badly as anyone could possibly do. So a very interesting story out of New York. Basically, in some elections, the worst people rise to the top. I don't mean personality-wise. I sometimes personality-wise, like Cuomo, he rose to the top. And in policy-wise, Mandami rose to the top, and he won. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
If we see New York turn into a complete, just dystopian
bread lines.
I wouldn't say bread lines, but I think it's going to be a lot of struggle, because if he does pass a lot of those free initiatives,
no, he's got to pay for it. Cities can't run debts. And they don't have any sovereign currency. They can run debts if they borrow, but they have to borrow ahead of time and issue bonds at prices that they can afford. And nobody's going to back those bonds if they say we're never going to get paid here. Pedro, I'm going to, while you're contemplating that, I'm going to take this moment to read an ad, since we have a decent crowd right now. Thanks to everyone that's watching us. Really appreciate it. Let's just give a shout out to our good friends here at Rumble. Because they've been good to us, we'll be good to them. Ladies and gentlemen, you've probably noticed Rumble is growing fast. It's growing fast, and it's not slowing down. Nope. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came here for. That's right, Pedro and I. That's what you get. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops. I'm adding some emotion into this one. And more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. That's rumble.com/studio. I'm sorry, rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom, and content you actually care about. That's the deal. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you're watching on a big screen TV, hold up your cell phone and pop that QR code that's over on the other side of the screen for me there. Put your eyeballs on our advertisers. We would really appreciate it. It helps Pedro and I out just if you visit them. Also, if you're watching on your cell phone, there's a chat feature. That means chat. But a lot of you guys don't know that. Chat. 76 Norton and Crypto Mike know that means. But anyway, there's a link there to learn more. And also, as always, if you're watching on the replay, thank you very much for doing so. And there's a description in the comments down there. So thank you to Rumble. And Chris, we're stalking you. Sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live.
Not me. You don't need us in the goons. Just joking. But it's really interesting to see what's actually happening here with BTC and that 200 period on the CME. I'm just waiting to see here. Are we going to have a reaction, or is this thing going to go down? That's really what we're playing with here. So we'll see what happens. Aster shot up pretty well. Second day of a push up here. I think it's in at 102, and it's definitely playing. The thing that I don't like is the fact that it came down even further down in this lower level for Aster. So Aster is one of those ones that I like as a play. I think one of the things that I'm looking for is to see some demand wicks, and you can see down here we've got a lot of, now we're starting to put in a lot of demand wicks on the hour, right at these lower levels. You see that bomb came down, man wicks. So we're trading through it around again. It'll probably pull back down again a little bit lower, but I don't like how we put our low in right here on that hour. But overall, it's looking good. It's looking real good, and it definitely makes me get very bullish on Astra now, watching it play with a lot of these demand wicks being created at these lower levels here. Whereas versus, we didn't have any down here. You can see here now, right? You can definitely, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're to have another one 5 here, where it's going down first to go back up. So I would say, yeah, I like where we're at. Let's go ahead and put a buy. If it comes back down to that 98 area, that area should act as a form of liquidity. I wish we would have had a bigger push up on the daily, even though we put in some pretty good demand wicks, but this demand wick, this area of demand wick is what we're looking for. So I like this area, and it's looking better and better the more we consolidate here. In that same sense, if we see BTC find footing here, then I would expect BTC, right, to really take Aster up as well. So that's one of those ones that's like, it kind of, I wouldn't say a hand in glove, but enough to where if it does sell off and starts to push down or push up, you do see reactions within Aster. So you can definitely capitalize on Aster as it moves up. Those lower levels are looking, like I said, like it might hit though, if on the volume side, we can't pick it up. If it doesn't, then like I said, I don't like how Aster, currently right now, if you look for the past, like 10 hours, 16 hours, we've been putting in demand wicks, which is what I want. The problem is that the way the volume is sitting right here on the CME, and also what we're watching on the spot price, Aster may succumb to lower lows here. And I talked about on the hour, I don't like how that hour chart looked. You see that? Like I want to see it kind of just push down hard, and then see it come back up on that hour with a ton of volume. So it's just one of those things I'm like, 1, 2, yeah. So I like it. I like how it's getting, the water is getting warmer, definitely warmer where I want to jump in, but we're just kind of waiting and
Got a
seeing.
new viewer, Pedro, over on YouTube. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you were done there, but I thought I'd hit up Fraz, someone representing Fraz Cater Parfums. I'm guessing it's probably his work account. Can you guys do injective, please? We certainly can do injective.
Yes, we will. Check it out.
Thanks for joining us, Fraz. Let us know how you found us. Really appreciate it. What is injectives? INJ?
Injective here. Boom.
There we go. Trading 669, up 5%, 4.3% today. $6.54 million market cap. So hanging in there. Obviously, you can see over on the great graphics machine down there. Well, Pedro's looking at the chart too here now. Has gone up and come down a lot.
We actually looked at this back in, when was it? So I must have put this in before it came down to this level here. We looked at this before.
Yeah, we did. I recall it, and I remember it was up. Yeah, it was way up there, and you said this is where it's going to come back down to, and it came right down to it.
Yeah, yeah. Nice little bounce off of that area, but it's not stopping there. It's actually looks like it's picking up steam to the downside. So I like this area. Obviously, I drew it, and it did hit it. The only issue is that you're seeing I'll show what I'll look like. You see here how we're seeing the volume for the seller step in. You're going to have an exhaustive candle sooner or later that just drops everything off, and we see it go down even further. But the biggest key is that you're looking for is after that exhaustive candle, you want to see so many buys come in. An exhaustive candle is one of those candles that literally just looks just one giant red candle, and it basically it's just puking. It's this type of candle right here that just comes down, boom, right? And you see again, like right here, boom, 1 or 2, 3 days where it just sells off hard, right? We're seeing more of just consolidation selling off where it looks more like this with this, right? And you want to see something like just boom, and then boom, sell, boom, come up, sell, boom, come back up, sell, boom, where they're putting in their orders, where they're putting in higher high or higher lows in, higher highs, boom, right? And then it comes back down, and then you want to see it go up. You could say you already had it here and you have a decent consolidation, but the only problem is it's literally flirting with the all-time lows, right? Not all-time lows, but those lows sitting right at the...
Welcome, DeFi dude, to the house. Dara, the Irishman, coming to us from Spain. Thanks for joining us. You're our overseas viewer today. Congrats.
What's up, Mr. Lawton? It's good to have you.
Actually, my friends might be watching us from Croatia. No, not Croatia. The Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
From Prague.
Nice. I love the Prague. So it came down to our area here. It's hitting the liquidity here. You just want to see, you want to see volume higher than this. Like if you start seeing volume higher than this, right? That's what you want to see coming in. And we want to see it climbing that looks fairly like this, boom, and then stays, where you literally have volume coming in at that level. But ultimately, I do like this level, but the next area that it could come down to.
I think I saw it there, and it's not good. Especially if you're long up near $30.
They were long about $30.
No, I was just saying that was the high in the past year, $30.
Oh yeah, okay, 16. Yeah, but it's the next level is right here. It's gonna be that 540 area sitting right here at this level. That's that's where I would expect maybe that it's that puke that I was talking about, where it just basically gives up the ghost. And that's when the sellers come in, or when the buyers come in. But you want to see a big old sell-off that's sitting right there. It's just something that I'm looking at that I want to see be right here. That's what. So yeah, like around that 560, 540 area is an area that I'd be looking to be getting in on at that level. That's really that next level. And then after that is all the way back down to this level here of that 289, which would be that $3 mark. And monthly.
Well, Pedro, you're talking about the volume needing to come up on that. The volume will come up on it if there's a reason. And I don't know enough about Injective to just off the top of my head go, oh yeah, they're going to get that volume. Or man, they're screwed. No one's going to use that. I think the important thing is for them to pump the volume up is they need a little story behind them. They need some news. They need something. Because without the volume, it will either die a slow death, or it'll have crazy pumps because the market will be too thin, and someone will pump it up, and everyone will be like, "Oh, it's back," but there's no volume. And as you've taught me a million times, if it pumps when there's no volume, well, that means it's just going to dump real quickly after that.
And it may even continue. That's the problem. Is that, and 100%, I agree 100%. The most frustrating thing is sometimes they will literally drain out all of the novices, man. I mean, look at this here real quick. See how we had the sell-off coming in, boom, 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 right here, right? And look how far they took
I can't see where you're pointing on your chart.
Oh, I'm going to use this here real quick for Injective. Right, you can see here that they just drain that liquidity as much as possible, right? And then they'll sell it off, boom, right? In a similar situation, see how it just sells off right there? That's where you see them, right? They're pushing it up this whole entire time period from here, actually all the way to here. And then after that, you see them just basically sell it off here. And if you're paying attention to this side, where you need to be, right? You don't see it coming. That's the thing. Like, you don't see it coming. So it's just one of those things that it's just hindsight 50-50. But if we're moving forward and I don't see volume coming in that is representative of a previous push, then it's just faking you out. So ultimately, what I'm saying is this: I like this down at 556 area to that 540 area, and then the next one I want it, if it continues down lower, and this is me not knowing what it does, not the whole entire situation, but purely from a technical area, these are the areas I would be looking to buy. It's that $3 to $2.45, and also that $5. These are the ones I'd be looking for it to come back down. So yeah, that's in a nutshell for that. What does Injective do?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Pedro. Injective balances bold ecosystem growth with token turbulence as builders flock and traders tread cautiously. Here's the latest news. They have a no-code Web3 launchpad. You can develop dApps and all sorts of Web3 things without coding. So trying to get people to mass adopt it. You don't have to be a programmer to launch dApps. No, sure there won't be any issues with security there at all. That was a big thing here in November 5th. Now, how does that translate to the charts? November 5th, November, it just sold off. So it must not have, people were expecting it to be a big deal. And it turns out, wait, that's today. It launched today?
I don't know. Maybe they launched the no-code side to it today? Or am I wrong? Is this is Injective?
I know, maybe Franz has some Mr. Parfums.
Yeah, Mr. Parfums. Is that the one that you want us to look at? Am I reading it right?
Yeah, you got that's Injective. Neutral to bullish as bridging TradFi deepens institutional use cases, but adoption depends on regulatory clarity for synthetic assets. Success here could visit. Man, this is AI gibberish. Buyback backfire, community-driven buyback program burned 32 million. Sorry,
I know who this guy. No, I remember. I actually met this individual.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Yep. Good guy.
Injective is aggressively expanding its developer and institutional footprint, but token economics face headwinds from tactical trader behavior. Will rising real-world asset adoption offset sell-side pressure from incentive programs? In other words, they're saying that we can do real-world asset trading when the legality of that kind of gets going, and people can write dApps to do that. Yeah, I see their point in the future. Until there's large-scale developers buying it and users buying the token, I mean, to use for that, it'll kind of wither like Audit Chain did.
Yeah.
Just, it's a good idea and good software and all that, but until users start cranking through the token and actually using it and generating user fees and generating work for the nodes to do, ain't nothing going on.
Yeah.
There's something going on.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that here. So I would expect it to come down lower then, because if you're not seeing a lot of the way that it's generating business, people are probably upset. So not just that it's not going to work, but I would assume it's going to go lower because sellers are going to sell this. If you want to, does Injective have a perpetual Injective protocol?
Oh, I'm sure they're on Mexi or Binance in the futures thing here.
Injective perp. You have Injective perpetual. You have OKX. Bybit.
Just do INJ USDT. The first one will be Binance without the P. Just INJ USDT. Yeah, the first one, Binance is always the first one there.
Yeah, so this is one of those ones that, they dropped it all the way down to that.
That wick.
They did not finish it off.
Some people got wrecked there.
Yeah, this is Binance, so it's liquid. Yeah, I would expect it to. It probably is going to come down to that. It might come to that level because that's where the perps are at. There's so many people that are stuck right here right now, like they're just hurting. People are holding this right now because all those people who are stuck that are shorting this, they're just, as they are liquidating their position, they're just getting sold off to, because they're, when you short something, you have to buy it back. And so you can see here that as they're buying it back because of the pain or margin calls or whatever, that's them getting sold off to by the institutions. So let me check out the other one that I was looking at, Injective. That one's at 274. Injective, it's dollar. Yeah, that's that area right here. It came right down to this level. This is most likely where they're going to come down to. It's that lower level here for Injective. It's that $3 mark. So you can, for France, saying it right, Franz.
No end, just Fraz.
Excuse me, Fraz. Yeah, you can short this on a Binance thing, and what you would want to do is you want to open up an account with Binance. I know that you have the ability to be outside of the United States, and in doing that, you will have access to Binance. You could short this market on a one-to-one basis. Don't go over, don't leverage it. But as the market sells off at a one-to-one ratio, if you're in a long, right, and you're losing money, either you can get out of that, or you can just put a stop on it. Okay, you can do that, and that's just that's a simple way of doing it. Or you can create a perpetual contract, which is basically futures, and you put a one-to-one ratio. Do not do leverage. And what happens is, if it sells off to those areas that I'm expecting it to sell off to, you can then mitigate your losses. So as it's selling off, your short is making money, even though your loss on the part of the spot token, it will go, as it goes down, you lose money there, but you make money on the short. You're able to mitigate your loss there until it hits the area and shows signs of strength, and then you can take that off, and now you've made money between there. And if it goes down, I don't think it's going to go down lower than here, because it's a good little area. I mean, what's their market cap, Tom?
$654 million market cap, 135 million traded the past 24 hours. Still quite the liquid token there with all that money coming out of it. So that I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's not going away, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of market makers trading that to keep it in the list of things, or that it's just all money coming out.
No, I think it's being traded. But I think this area here, so that $6 coming down to $3, or like that 245 area, that potentially is the area that they want to take it down to, because there's so many people stuck there. We'll do injected Binance.
Welcome Fire Chicken to the show. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Fire Chicken says, good day all. Oh, I got that wrong.
So that's two. So the low on Binance is 279. So I still see it coming down, at least cutting half of it itself in half. So that'd be a fun trade to trade, especially if you've been short, or if you've been long here, or if you've been waiting and you haven't bought any of the token. I would say what I would do is wait for it to come down to these lower levels, and then from there take part in it. But again, that's what I would do. This is not financial advice, because, well, it's not. This is more entertainment, social, educational purposes only. All right. Anything else, guys, you want me to look at? And was that good, Roz?
I think that was good. Yeah, he said thanks.
Most stuff. Gotcha.
What is Blue Chew?
One of the things I want to start doing also is kind of just showing people how to actually set up a futures account, right? There's a lot of futures out there that you can trade and leverage things. I always tell everybody, if you do not have impulse, if you don't have strong impulse control, then you probably shouldn't trade futures.
If you buy things at the grocery store checkout lane, that's a no-go for futuros.
Yeah, if you want something and you can't wait a week or a month, but you need to have it now, yeah, you have really, really weak impulse controls. And so the reason why is because they will basically try to get you to hurt you to buy.
All right, Pedro, I'm going to take this moment here to read another ad here. Let's get this one started here. Ladies and gentlemen, this one's going to be a good one. You all remember Brooke Burke? That's right. A fixture in the entertainment and wellness industry for decades, known for her roles in Dancing with the Stars and Wild On. It's not one to shy away from the spotlight. She surely is not. But shortly after she turned 50, despite her expertise, the fitness icon suddenly found herself battling a body that seemed to be working against her. Now Brooke is opening up publicly about her experience because it's won millions of women's millions of women face: unexplained weight gain, muscle loss, and declining energy. It sucks getting old. And she's revealing how she discovered one thing that made her leaner and stronger and healthier than ever. She says that today at age 53, she feels amazing and her abs are tighter today than they were 10 years ago. What changed for her was she began biohacking and discovered that she needed more protein, but not just any protein, one specific protein that was a total game changer. And when she found it, she said it was like uncovering a secret weapon for weight management and muscle gain. Everything changed. I'm leaner and stronger than I've been in my whole life. Getting comments from the crowd here. She's sharing this with the world to both women and men so we all can learn about this revolutionary protein. Click the link in the chat or scan the QR code screen to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, there's a QR code over there. If you're watching on a big screen TV or in the department store, in the barber chair, somewhere, click that QR code with your phone there and put your eyeballs on our sponsors. They really, really enjoy having you come visit. At least look at them and allow them the opportunity to sell you their product. It would really help us out just by clicking that and following it. Gets our ratings up. If you're watching on your phone, there's a little link in the chat function, and if you're watching on the replay, there's a link in the comment section. Thanks to Power Life and Brooke Burke's Secret to Staying Lean, Strong, and Energized for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live. All right. I'm starting to finish off that DYOR Live stuff like Matthew McConaughey. Starting to slang it out a little bit. Thanks for watching DYOR Live.
All right.
Fire Chicken says, take my money. She can reveal all those secrets.
Dude, come on. Mm-hmm. Brooke Burke. The thing is, what's funny is with her, she was a beautiful woman. Absolutely beautiful. I really wasn't attracted to her, though. Like, legit. It's really weird.
Well, it's same problem because she was one of those people that thought getting like $50 million of plastic surgery was a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I lived in Southern California. I get these entertainment people. They all think they have to be at the top of their game all the time. But reconfiguring your face to look like a moon asteroid is not one of those things that's a smart decision. And it doesn't get you any better roles. All these women who get their face hacked up, they don't get that starring role anymore because they Demi Moore, Meg Ryan, Brooke Burke, they ended up look like lunatics. And just age gracefully. Meryl Streep's like, shit, I barely even put any makeup on anymore. Just starring roles all the time, You know
who didn't go completely, face plastic, and she removed a lot of plastic. She was in Naked Gun, the remix. What's her name? She was on
Jenny. No.
No.
The Baywatch girl?
No. Yeah,
Pamela
Baywatch
Anderson.
girl. Pamela Anderson. Yeah. And dude, I sat there and I was like, I was like, you look great. And people were like ripping on her because she got all old. And I'm like, I think she looks great. Like, she doesn't look all like plastic, and she actually's gone super healthy. Her skin looks great. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, isn't she like 60 years old?
Yeah, I know. She's in her late 50s, I think, now and stuff. Yeah. And she has an Instagram account that I remember this news story because we watched that movie. Mrs. Striking and I watched The Naked Gun. Oh, she fell asleep. Yeah, within seconds. And but the story, since she was in the news a lot, she was talking about her own Instagram account in which she just had pictures of her before she put any makeup on. It was a completely normal person. And then you get the other people that are, I guess we shouldn't talk badly about people that have sponsored our show. That's probably a bad thing.
I was going to say, right, we're like ruining that.
That evilcrypto.com, they took all this poor guy's money. They should all be shot. By the way, crypto.com, would you like to sponsor our show? No? Oh.
Why? No. Like I said, I think she's a beautiful girl. Or a beautiful woman. She's a woman. To me, she wasn't, when it came down to the idea of I don't know. She was so put together. I think that's what it was. She was so put together, like especially, and it was off-putting because she was sitting there talking like a bees, talking about all these party places, but she was very very prim, and I was just like, something didn't compute right in my head,
right?
Because it just, I wanted to be like, all right, guys, and like in my head, that's what it, yeah, and not that she wasn't really that way, but it's just. I think that's what it was the inconsistency in my head of the places that she would be like as if she may not be fun. She would just be like the pretty hot girl, but wouldn't be fun. And to me, like, well, what good is that? Like, like, you gotta be fun, dude. Like, come on. And I'm
anyway, thanks for everyone that's watching us. Pedro, as the note says, they do have a hard stop at 2. So we've got 15 minutes left of the show, ladies and gentlemen. You got something you want us to review? We will take the time to do so. Fire Chicken, thanks. He says, oops, I was remembering her from long ago. Perhaps the Tommy Lee video when everyone was like, damn, Tommy Lee. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Got mass respect for Tommy Lee there. Oh, dang.
Isn't it the weirdest thing? Like how like a dude could be a total like crap face, like just a total tool. But if you can pull a chick, a hot chick, he got respect. Like,
and if he's one of those guys that gets respect in the shower, and you're like in the shower after gym class, and you're like, "Whoa, Tommy boy, there." What's your dad named Tyrone or something? I mean, come on.
I just think it's interesting.
I remember the first time we watched that, and I was like, "He's not Irish like me." But. That's funny. But so anyway, thanks everyone that's watching us out there. As always, if you could share this, we'd really appreciate it. And so, Mr. Parfums, Monsieur Parfum, how do you like the show? I put a lot of effort into the virtual production here, and well, just to make it look nice and professional and all that. Let us know if you enjoy that, or if all it's just a waste of time and you just want to hear us say buy or sell.
It's probably just going to be buy or sell.
Yeah, I know the answer to that. I know.
Yeah, he's like,
you can be
like
sitting in a trash dump. I don't care. Live streaming from a favela in Brazil. I don't care.
But if the content's on point, and if you say these are the news and it's on point, if this is where the price is, that's on that.
Shining our ass. In English, we call that shining our asses.
Oh, he speaks full English, bro.
I know, the English idiom.
Pause. Oh, I'm a little slow. Brr. That's not gonna age well. That is definitely not gonna age well. They're gonna be like, and he makes fun of special people. I am special, literally. I'm short buses unite. Let's go, special ed. This guy, like.
Pedro, I only had 2 news stories queued up here from the past day. One of which is we just spoke about this yesterday. Actually, it's sometime this week. We talked about privacy coins and how they're starting to get more popular, especially the ones that don't just come right out and say, "Hey, we're a secret privacy coin," and stuff like that. And Monero, turns out, Monero is starting to get the love that they've been waiting for a long time. Monero had that problem where it claimed that the Koreans claimed they could break their blockchain and break the privacy, and the price tanked. Then Monero went through it and said no, and then but then they issued like an update to some node thing or something like that. But the prices rocketed back as people take interest in privacy coins, because look, it's trading at 357 now. It's down to it was down recently to 269, 230, 236 recently.
We called it at, like literally $1.40.
Right.
Or not $1.40. 140, $140.
140, yeah, it was 140
when it shot up, or was it 120? I think it like shot up to like.
Well, a year ago it was at 150, right? It was at 225, then went up all the way to 420 or 430 or so, something like that, according to the annual chart over there. Anyway, the narrative that we were talking about is that eventually people are going to tire of all of these companies now having instant access to all their transactions, and with the invention of AI now being able to process big data easily for anyone. Yeah. I mean, any proper research firm could do the research, but now it makes it simple for anyone to do it. Is creating apps that track literally everything for everyone. And so people are saying, you know what? I'm just going to move my money over to Monero, and it's happening a lot. Nice. This article's about it over. If you want to go watch it, I'll drop a link to it in our Telegram room. And then the other article that I thought was prescient was I talked about Ripple a lot, and I talk about Ripple a lot because Tom no love Ripple, but I said, you know what? First of all, they're making the price go up over time. So, when I started saying I didn't like Ripple, the price was at 20 cents. And now it's 10x from that. So shame on me. I didn't take that investment. Let my biases get in the way. But, I spent a lot of time in the stock market. When you look at something that doesn't make money, you don't buy it. Ripple's never made any money. And I said they're just going to keep buying companies until they're a profitable operating company, and they'll be selling their XRP. Sure enough, fintech firm Ripple makes another acquisition, this time snatching up a wallet provider and custody firm on Monday, spending another big chunk of their cash building out a conglomerate in the fintech industry. And soon they'll have little interest in XRP, I bet, and they'll turn the rest of it over to the foundation or something like that. But interesting enough, two topics which we talked about on this show that almost immediately hit the wires as confirming what we were saying. Like, I believe this is going to happen. Sure enough, I'm telling you, Ripple's going to abandon that XRP, and all the XRP army is going to be like, oh, we didn't see that coming. When you should have. And then this is the article that I had. Crypto Quant says Bitcoin could drop to 72,000 by year end if the 100,000 level doesn't hold. And Pedro was talking about the $100,000 level may hold, may not. These next couple of days are going to determine it.
It depends on the CME. It depends on the CME, what's happening at that $200 mark. That's why we went and looked at that. It's very important. That's why I was saying it's both. It's the 400 on the spot and the 200 moving average on the CME daily chart. And I'm paying attention to that because if we start to see it really get weakened, then it's down we go, down to those like I said, 80,000, 70,000. It like I said, because that's where it's sitting. Now, is it going to have stop points? Yeah, it may. Again, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I know that sounds nuts, but I think we'll see money flow into altcoins as well as money comes out. I do. And then I think we'll have a super boom in December, as if we keep selling off for the month in November. And then come December, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see it skyrocket. But I've been wrong before, and that's kind of. I just don't think I'm gonna be wrong here on this one. I just don't. But again, I could be. I don't put it past it. But again, that's why I hedge my bets, right? That's why I play on.
Just so you know, you're looking at the XRP chart there, not the Bitcoin chart.
I know that.
Okay.
The reason I was going to say that is, and the reason why I brought this up is we actually had a zone right here of that 105 area here. We cleared out all the other zones, but this was the primary zone that we had actually talked about that I said I think it might come back down to, is that 100 area, and or $1 area. And bro, I remember it came down and I was like, holy crap, dude. So with that said, I think this, just like with the other token that we looked at, where I would expect it to come back down to and then see it just skyrocket because there's so much liquidity sitting here, that for XRP, I could sit there and see it coming back down to that level there at that $1 mark, or maybe 99 cents, and then see it just.
There's gonna be people jumping off bridges if it comes down to that $1 mark. There'll be people like us going, yes, come on down. You could be the next contestant on your prices imploding. But XRP, I mean, you talk about a liquid market for, not Bitcoin or Ethereum. They've got 8 billion in 24-hour volume. That means this is a very liquid token. That means, what that tells me is that Ripple can dump, hundreds of millions of dollars of XRP in a very short period of time to fund their operations, and nobody would nary even notice. I'm sure there are wallet trackers out there and all that type of stuff, but it's so liquid that it would barely affect the price. And since everybody knows Ripple is doing that, the pricing's already built in.
I mean, $8 billion.
How many could I buy?
You said $8 billion?
$8 billion in 24-hour volume.
That is nuts, dude. I'm sorry.
That's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, Bitcoin averages about 60 some, Ethereum in the 20s. Currently, Bitcoin has done 100 billion in the past 24 hours today because of the market conditions. Fire Chicken says, "How many could I buy then? I don't. About as many as I own now." Oh, XRPs. Phrase, whatever. Mr. Cater, Mr. Parfums. Thanks. Says, "I'll be watching you guys every time you do a live." We go live every day. 2 hours every day. We don't expect you to watch every day, but you should.
Well, we're gonna start going over some stuff.
Anyway, we'll just watch us when you can. If you miss our live, we're always on the replay. And if you could be so kind, our primary streaming channel, while you're watching us on YouTube, our primary streaming channel is on Rumble. And the advantage to Rumble is if you are doing other things and can't watch and can only listen, if you download the Rumble app, you can have that in the background or minimize it while you check emails or put your phone in your pocket because you're working, and you can still hear us. With YouTube, you can only do that if you pay the premium. If you've paid YouTube Premium, then, well, good for you. Usually I can tell from your icon if you have or not. No, I can't tell. So if you want to sign up for over on Rumble, down in the body description of the show on YouTube, there's a link to our Rumble registration. Just go over there, start an account, join us on Rumble. Helps out with the number of chatters over there. And then you can also listen to us in the background. Like if you're wearing headphones and you're at work and you're pretending you're working, yes, boss, doing the TPS report, you're really listening to Pedro and I.
So also want to throw this out. I thought this was really interesting from a news standpoint. This was actually November 2nd. The CEO, America and China CEO Jensen Huang, I always mess his name up, says President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping new trade deal ensures NVIDIA can compete in China. When you look at NVIDIA stock,
I mean, it's like, come on, man, how long can this go?
Dude, well, this is what I'm about to bring up. When that came out, right? When all that stuff came out, look at it. It sold off. I thought it was interesting is that they saw the sell-off come in. So he goes in and says this. And I think some of this stuff should be illegal, right? Because it literally manipulates the market. I don't know who was trying to sell the position off so they don't crush it. But I'd love to go look at maybe the CEO selling metrics. And did people buy and he liquidated to them because he needed some cash? I mean, I don't think he needed to say that. And so, like, when I saw that and I looked at the price and I was like, dude, did you just sell off your stuff so that you didn't have it? You know, like, because it is true. But I just thought it was really interesting.
Ooh.
I know you have a hard stop, so.
It's conference call time. For those of you who don't know, I work with the wife here, and we always have things right when the show is planned to end. There are things scheduled to do. Anyway,
yes. Coming in, guys. We appreciate every one of you. We're here every day at 12 to 2. 12 to 2, 12:30 to 2, kind of give and take based on technical difficulties. And the best way you can reach us at is go check us out over on Rumble. If you are watching us at other stuff, you can check us out on YouTube, as Tom said. But one thing we do like about the feature within Rumble is that you can actually have it playing while your phone is off. Even if you don't subscribe to their product, which I think is pretty epic of them.
It is quite epic of them. Ladies and gentlemen, you hear that outro music playing. Baby Jesus didn't make it to us today. Baby Jesus, Baby Draco, whatever his name is. Not Baby Jesus.
I know where did Baby
6 pound, 12 ounce Baby
Jesus.
Jesus.
Baby Jesus.
All right, everybody, that's all we got for you today. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock, 12:05 Eastern Time, United States. It's now UTC -5 for you foreigners because we switched to daylight savings, or switched to standard time. So anyway, tomorrow will be Thursday. Big news happening tomorrow. I have no idea what it is, but if you tune in tomorrow, you will find out. See you there. On behalf of Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. Thank you for watching our show today. All right, our mics are off. Do you know what I did yesterday?
I don't know, but we killed today. Did you see how many we actually have? Yeah, 163.
Huh.
That's crazy. It was literally 163. I was sitting there going like, what algorithm did we just hit? Like...
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.